Good afternoon, friends. Today we are starting a capsule on e-way bill. You must be knowing that government is little worried on their revenue collection, which is not to their satisfaction level after introduction of GST from July 1, 2017. In the recently concluded 25th GST Council meeting, government is thinking of coming with anti-evasion measures, and on that line, the first and foremost, the steps taken by GST Council is introduction of e-way bill effective from 1st of February 2018 for all interstate movement of goods. Meaning thereby, when goods move from one state to another state, interstate movement of goods, compulsorily e-way bill is required. And for intrastate, provision is saying that all state has to come on board even for intrastate movement of goods, not later than June 1, 2018, though 15 states are already ready and they are going to have same uniform e-way bill system as applicable for interstate. For intrastate, 15 states are going to adopt the same system. Otherwise, let me tell you why this e-way bill is required. There are two important parameters which we can achieve by introduction of e-way bill. The first one, the movement of goods can be tracked by consignor, consignee or transporter. And second, for most important takeaway of e-way bill would be tax evasion can be avoided. With this e-way bill introduction, government is perceiving that they are going to control and check tax evasion whatever happening in supply chain of goods supply. Now, having said that, so 1st of February 2018, important date for all interstate movement, and for intrastate not later than June 1, 2018, but 15 states are ready even for the intrastate movement of goods. By June 1, 2018, all the state and union territories has to come on board, either it is a intrastate or interstate. Now for the trial version, pilot e-way bill trial version is being given on ewaybill.nic.in. So this particular website is being given to all the taxpayer. They can do on trial basis, they can generate e-way bill, they can modify and cancel e-way bill. How to take registration, being consignor, consignee or transporter, all the options are made available to all of us together. And once e-way bill is operational, then we will have official e-way bill site, ewaybillgst.gov.in. That is going to be common portal for implementation of e-way bill. Having said that, now I have divided my topic in a very simplistic manner. Before I take up those topics one by one, the important provision pertaining to e-way bill is being governed by Chapter 16 of CGST Rules 2017 and Rule 138 going to be important. Rule 138 talks about information to be furnished prior to commencement of movement of goods and generation of e-way bill. Rule 138A talks about document and devices to be carried by a person in charge of conveyance. Rule 138B talks about verification of documents and conveyance. C talks about inspection and verification of goods. And last rule 138D talks about facility for uploading information regarding detention of vehicle for more than 30 minutes. So we are going to discuss all rule provision as applicable for eBay bill. This capsule is mainly on provision and case studies. Let's start with. So first topic would be eBay bill when to be generated. What is the provision? Rule 138 says any registered person causing movement of goods where consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees must furnish specified information in part A of eBay bill EWB01, eBay bill 01. So when to generate eBay bill, the provision are being summarized for you. Wherever consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees, exceeding 50,000 rupees, what happened? If consignment value is less than 50,000 or equal to 50,000, then eBay bill would be optional, not compulsory. Now this consignment value will be inclusive of taxes or exclusive of taxes. It will always be inclusive of taxes like CGST, SGST as levied for intrastate or IGST as levied for interstate. So for calculation of threshold amount, consignment value 50,000 will include taxes charged on intrastate or interstate. And when this threshold amount is not applicable, and though eBay bill is compulsory to be generated, there are two specific situations is being prescribed. The first one, when principal is sending goods to a job worker interstate. Principal manufacturer is causing movement of goods interstate to a job worker, compulsorily eBay bill need to be generated by principal manufacturer. And in case of movement of handicraft goods by a person who is exempted from obtaining registration for interstate movement of handicraft goods, eBay bill need to be generated irrespective of any value. Now the question comes, this eBay bill required for three specific purposes in relation to supply, and supply could be, as we normally understand, sell, purchase, sales return, purchase return, import, export. Second, either it could be in relation to any purpose other than supply. So what could be any other purpose? Like job work, when you're sending in SKD or CKD condition, or you're sending for exhibition and fair, or for the self-use, or on approval basis. You're sending the goods subject to approval. It is not supply. So these are the cases which I have narrated. eBay bill would be required if consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees. And third case would be when being recipient, I am purchasing goods from unregistered supplier. In that case, being recipient, consignee, I need to generate eBay bill for purchase of goods from unregistered supplier. So three specific cases in relation to supply, in relation to any purpose other than supply, or when you purchase from unregistered supplier. So when eBay bill need to be generated, the next question would be what all circumstances when eBay bill need not required. Then the provision says eBay bill is not required for the purpose of specified goods as prescribed in annexure of rule 138. And what are those goods? Like LPG, postal baggage, jewelry, currency, used personal and household effect. These annexes are being provided under Rule 138. Second case, when goods are being transported in non-motorized conveyance. So in that case, e-way bill generation is not required. Non-motorized conveyance. What could be? By rickshaw, by bullock cart, or maybe by conveyor. That is not motorized conveyance. Motorized conveyance, when goods are being moving, value is more than 50,000, then only e-way bill generation is required. Third situation, when goods are being moving from port, airport, air cargo complex, land custom station to ICD or container freight station for custom clearance. So for that purpose, e-way bill is not required. Or maybe for specific areas, specified areas as notified. As on date, nothing is being notified, but it may be notified for specific or specified areas where e-way bill is not required. It is not required even for exempted goods, not chargeable for GST, because these goods are exempted in terms of notification number 2/2017. E-way bill is not required except for the item de-oiled cake. For de-oiled cake, though exempted, but still e-way bill would be required if consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees. E-way bill is not required for alcoholic liquor for human consumption and 5 specified petroleum products: petrol, diesel, crude petrol, aviation turbine fuel and natural gas. Being out of GST, it is kept out of e-way bill also. And then supply of goods falling under Schedule 3 to CGST Act 2017. What is supply of goods in Schedule 3? If you go to Schedule 3 of CGST Act 2017, we find that there are 6 specific entries prescribed: services by employee to the employer, services by tribunal or court, services by MP or MLA, kind of. There are services mentioned. There is no mention of supply of goods in none of the entries except sale of land, and sale of land is in relation to immovable property. But this provision is being prescribed that supply of goods falling under Schedule 3 does not require any e-way bill. Now coming to one crux point for your information. Provision, this e-way bill provision further says, if distance is less than 10 kilometer from consignor place of business. Who could be consignor? Supplier. From supplier place of business to a transporter place of business, distance is less than 10 kilometer. In that case, e-way bill generation is not required. You may require to fill up part A of e-way bill, but part B, where vehicle details are required to be filled up, need not require. This is what the specific provision. But while discussing this provision, let me create one example for you. Let's say I got my factory and I got my warehouse, and distance is only 5 kilometer. So I'm moving goods from my factory to my warehouse, not to the transporter place of business. Even though less than 10 kilometer, whether e-way bill is required, answer is yes. In that case, it is required. So what provision says? When this movement happening from consignor place of business to the place of business of transporter. So with this case study, when you are moving your goods from factory to your own warehouse, even though less than 10 kilometer, e-way bill generation would be required. Having said that, now next topic would be, who will generate the e-way bill? who are supposed to generate the eBay bill. As I said, any registered person, consignor who is a supplier or consignee who is a recipient, causing movement of goods, at whose instance movement has been initiated, that person has to generate the eBay bill, maybe consignor or maybe consignee. And what happened in a case when your supplier is unregistered but recipient is registered, that is consignee? In that case, consignee need to generate the eBay bill. Now the provision which says registered person, there may be one specific situation where consignor and consignee both are not registered. Let's take an example and try to answer by yourself. Supplier and recipient are not registered, but goods is moving and more than 50,000 rupees. Who is supposed to generate the eBay bill? In that case, registered transporter has to generate the eBay bill. Now such transporter need to take registration on that eBay bill website, and in that scenario, two possible situations. That transporter may have his GST number, he is registered under GST, or he is not registered under GST. If he is not registered in GST, then he has to fill up his particulars including his permanent account number to get registered. So these are the provisions. Maybe a case that consignor or consignee, they are not registered in GST because their aggregate turnover is less than 20 lakh rupees. But now they are causing movement of goods, more than 50,000 rupees consignment value. And such consignor or consignee want to take registration only for the movement's sake. Possible can this registration be taken? Of course, such consignor or consignee can also take registration by filling up necessary particulars including permanent account number. That options are being given. In another capsule, we are going to give you a live demo how to take registration. So let's carry on with the provision. Who to generate the eBay bill? Either registered consignor, registered consignee, who is causing movement of goods, and where both are not generating the eBay bill, then the registered transporter has to generate the eBay bill, EWB01. Moving to the next topic, how to generate the eBay bill. What are the provisions prescribed for generation of eBay bill? There are two parts in eBay bill 01. Part A. Part A to be filled up by the registered person who is causing movement of goods, either consignor or consignee. What all particulars are to be mentioned in part A? GST number of recipient. GST number of recipient. Maybe a situation that your recipient, consignee, is not registered. Then you have to mention unregistered purchaser, URP. So when I'm going to show you that live demo in next capsule, that will make you familiar with, when you are selling B2C, then your consumer is not registered, you will mention URP. But whenever you are making B2B sell, then you would be putting GST number of recipient. Then we have to mention place of delivery. You have to mention the pin code, and then approx distance from one pin code to another pin code. Subjectivity exists. We all are asking to the government, kindly let us know how to calculate this approximate distance. There may be dispute tomorrow only pertaining to approx distance. Can we create some kind of mechanism within the system that it automatically calculate distance, approx distance from one pin code to another pin code? Otherwise, a dispute may remain there in the mind of tax authority. Why this distance is going to be important? Because of validity. Validity as prescribed for e-way age, if it is 100 kilometer, 1 day validity, plus for every subsequent 100 kilometer, another day would be added. For an example, if approx distance picked up 270 kilometer, then validity would be 3 days. But this 270 kilometer picked up by the consignor or consignee, what is the guarantee that tomorrow it will not be disputed? So maybe having auto mechanism built in within the system to pick up approximate distance from one pin code location to another pin code location can done away all litigation and subjectivity. Moving further, invoice number or challan number and date. Invoice is required in case of supply. Challan is required in case other than supply. Number and date need to be mentioned in part A. Then the description of good along with HSN code. Harmonized systematic nomenclature. Now you must be knowing that HSN code in GST, the provision given to us for filing GSTR 1. If my aggregate turnover is less than 1.5 crore, I am not required to pick up HSN code in my invoice raised to the recipient. If my aggregate turnover is from 1.5 crore to 5 crore, then 2-digit HSN code. And if it is more than 5 crore, 4-digit HSN code. So what happened? This HSN code is compulsory irrespective of aggregate turnover. So this is the departure from the return and invoice to be raised. So what happened if consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees? Even though your aggregate turnover is less than 1.5 crore, HSN code must be picked up correctly. Having said that, question will come, what is the criteria? If aggregate turnover is less than 5 crore, then 2-digit HSN code. If it is more than 5 crore, then 4-digit HSN code. I have seen number of cases in the past. What are the situation we have seen from classification and HSN perspective? Even in GST, we are finding that classification is one of the subject matter where dispute persists and we are struggling with to find out correct HSN code. So what is the guarantee that tomorrow department is not going to dispute HSN? Can't we do automate HSN code within the system? I'm being told and we are getting information that government is working on those lines. And once you put your description, your HSN code will come automatically. It is quite widely appreciated and laudable. Once this is coming auto, then for the sake on classification, there will not be dispute between taxpayer and tax department. Having said that, we have to mention value of goods as per invoice or challan. We have to mention what is the value. We have to mention the rate applicable along with the cess rate. And once you mention the rate and apply on value, your tax amount will be auto calculated in that part A of e-way bill 01. Then we have to mention region for the transportation. Why I am transporting? Maybe in relation to supply, sell, purchase, import, export, sales return, purchase return, or it may be for any region other than supply, which could be job work, for own consumption, approval basis, exhibition and fair. We have to mention those regions, and then we have to mention the transport document number as available for transportation. If it is by road transport, GRN. If it is by rail, railway receipt number. If it is by air, airway bill number or bill of lading number need to be mentioned in part A. Then comes part B. Once part A is being filled up by registered person, then part B need to be filled up, and in part B we have to mention the vehicle number. Vehicle number, we got option of transporter ID, then this can be filled up by the transporter, otherwise by filling up vehicle number or part B is being filled up. Once part B is filled up, we are ready to submit and generate the eBay bill. Certain provision pertaining to eBay bill I would like to highlight here. Transporter to take registration on the common eBay bill portal. So I'm finding when you go to that part B of eBay bill 01, transporter has to take registration. He might not have taken registration under GST, but for eBay bill he has to take registration by filling up specified particulars including permanent account number. Part B to be filled up by the person who is generating the eBay bill, either for movement by owned vehicle or hired vehicle. Then eBay bill generation is mandatory for transporter wherever consignor and consignee is not generating the eBay bill. Time period prescribed for filling up part B of eBay bill is 72 hours. So what happened? You have filled up your part A of eBay bill. How long you can wait to fill up your part B? 72 hours. So maybe after filling up part A with the specified particulars as shown on the left hand side of this particular slide, you are having 72 hours in your hand to fill up the vehicle number so as to complete part B and generate the eBay bill. Then upon generation of eBay bill, unique eBay bill number, EBN number available to the supplier, recipient and transporter, to all three parties, consignor, consignee and transporter. Once unique EBN is being generated and being intimated to the supplier, consignor, recipient, consignee and transporter, recipient has facility either to accept or reject that eBay bill is generated, but within 72 hours. If it is not being accepted or rejected within 72 hours, then it shall be deemed as accepted by the consignee or recipient. I'm getting multiple queries only on this point. Let me take one case study for discussion. Being supplier, I have transported the goods to my buyer, to my consignee. Once my goods reach to him after 5 days, consignee is not ready to take the delivery and saying, I'm not happy with the quality, I will not take the delivery. Now what happened? My goods has moved, let's say from Delhi to Mumbai. Now goods are lying in Mumbai and consignee is not taking delivery. So what happened? How to take back these goods either to your premises in Delhi, or if you want to sell it within the state of Maharashtra from Mumbai to Pune, who is going to generate another eBay bill? In that case, consignor, supplier has to generate the eBay bill once again, mentioning Mumbai as a place where the goods are lying, where it was sent earlier, and from that place it will go to a ultimate destination. When it is coming back to Delhi, Delhi would be the recipient location, or if it is going to Pune, then Pune would be the location. And such kind of permutation combination we need to look at, and who is supposed to generate the eBay bill is going to play important role, who is causing movement of goods. In this case, consignee is not taking delivery. In that case, supplier is undertaking causing movement of goods. Hence, consignor has to generate the eBay bill. Now going down further, the validity period of eBay bill. What is the validity? I have clearly said that the validity period is 1 day for 100 kilometer plus another day for subsequent 100 kilometer of part thereof. I given you the example that if it is approximate distance is 270 kilometer, validity period would be 3 days. 3 days. Now in this situation, we are also getting lot many queries. Query number 1. What happen if my goods does not reach within validity period of 3 days? In that case, possible situation could be. What are those possible situations? The first possible situation, it is because of what region? Maybe some exceptional nature. Your truck made with an accident, or truck could not reach because of any XYZ region. Now question comes, if it is exceptional nature, that's what the provision says, where goods cannot be transported within the validity time period because of exceptional cases. What is exceptional cases? Nothing is being defined in eBay bill rules. But as we normally understand, that exceptional are either truck made with an accident or something which is beyond his control, transporter's control. In that case, transporter can generate another eBay bill after updating part B of eBay bill 01. This option is being provided. Even the law is being saying that where for specified goods or categories of goods, Commissioner may by notification can extend the validity period of eBay bill, but nothing is being specified as on date. But we are getting many queries from the trade members. Some of the trade members are asking, sir, we are dealing into a particular goods, those are heavy goods, takes hell lot of time, and it cannot be transported 100 kilometer per day basis, maximum 10 kilometer. Come to Delhi from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock in the evening, you can't enter in Delhi. So what happened? If 100 kilometer is not covered, second situation. Third situation could be that when I'm not able to abide by validity time period, each transporter is supposed to raise eBay bill, generate eBay bill after updating. One of the specific case we got that some SSE has conveyed that when they are transporting heavy goods, is taking hell lot of time. What happened when we are transporting to hilly state like from Delhi to Jammu and Kashmir, or Kolkata to northeast state, hilly areas where 100 kilometer is not possible, or only the 10 kilometer or 15 kilometer could be traveled per day basis. So these are the open situation which is having no answer. Only the conclusion part that in case of exceptional nature, transporter can update part B of eBay bill generated, and then he can generate a fresh eBay bill. But how many? If you are transporting your goods and 15 kilometers is being covered only per day, it is supposed to generate multiple eBay bill one after another. Or Commissioner can really notify such goods, but as on date, nothing is being notified as specified goods for which validity period can be extended by the Commissioner. Open point from the trade side. I'm sure government must be watching this particular capsule and will take a note of it for the ease and smooth movement of goods in supply chain. Now I'm taking up the case study, and this case study is going to help you to understand who is supposed to generate the eBay bill, and the specific situation I have picked up for your understanding sake. And I'm sure it will be easier for you to simulate your position in alternative mechanism and try to find out whether consignor will generate the eBay bill, or consignee, or transporter. In this first situation, supplier is located in Delhi and he is supplying goods to a recipient in Mumbai. Now goods are going from Delhi to Mumbai, and there are two more commercial terms, ex-works transaction and FOR destination. What is FOR destination? When supplier is undertaking goods to be delivered in customer premises in Mumbai, right? So in that case, who is causing the movement of goods? Consignor. Who will generate the eBay bill? Consignor. What happened in case of X works? Consignee coming and picking up the goods, engaging his transporter to take the goods from Delhi to Mumbai. So who is causing in this case? Movement. Consignee is causing movement in case of X works. I can also add some flavor to it. Sometime what happened, consignor is sending the goods to consignee with the terms that it is X works price plus freight reimbursement. Freight reimbursement. So what happened? My price is 100 rupees and 10 rupees I am taking as reimbursement from consignee for transportation from Delhi to Mumbai, though the transaction was X works. So what happened? Who is the person supposed to generate the eBay bill? Who is causing movement of goods? In this case, the freight is being reimbursed, but movement is being caused by consignor. To my mind, consignor must generate the eBay bill. And these are the practical situation which you would be finding your day in, day out once eBay bill operations are being effective from 1st of February 2018. Going to the next example, bill to ship to model. It's a very interesting one. The three party involved. Section 10, subsection 1, clause B of IGST Act 2017. Very interesting. In bill to ship to model, there are three party involved. So what happened? A is a supplier in this case. Now at the instance of B located in Mumbai, he is supplying goods to C in Delhi only. Now there are two supply from A to B, but goods are not moving from Delhi to Mumbai. Goods are not moving. But at the instance of B, goods are being delivered to customer in C in Delhi. First of all, you try to find out how many invoices you are going to raise in this case. Logically, as per 10(1)(b) of IGST Act 2017, there would be two invoices from A to B and B to C, and both are chargeable to IGST interstate supply in terms of location of supplier and place of supply. Now the question comes, how many eBay bill is required and who is going to generate the eBay bill? Now in this case, A is a supplier causing movement of goods. He will generate the eBay bill pertaining to his invoice. Invoice is being made to B. Now question comes, when B is raising invoice to C, whether B is causing movement of goods. Directly or indirectly, these goods are being shipped to the C on initiative of B only, at the instruction of B only. But goods are not being dispatched from B's place of business to the C place of business. It is directly being shipped from supplier to the customer in Delhi. So as per FAQ, frequently asked question, it is being stated there would be two invoice and two eBay bill need to be generated. So what happened? Transporter who is undertaking transportation from A's premises to C's premises will carry two invoices and two eBay bill. That's what FAQ says. But whether this is agreeable in commercial world? Now in this bill to ship to model, we have seen we have challenges. B would not be willing to disclose his price to the customer C. Why then he will give the invoice which is raised by supplier A to B, and once it is being given both the invoices, then the price is known to the customer C. He would not be preferring in this case. We have to find out some solution in this regard. And maybe in this case, one eBay bill is generated by A to C and carried with the invoice of B to C. So customer is not coming to know what is the price is being charged by A to B. But unless such provisions are being accommodated, in eBay bill, I don't think that we have clear-cut solution or answer to this problem. But per my suggestion, this is what I am looking, that it should be allowed in the case of bill to ship to model. Going further, what happens when we are sending multiple consignment in one conveyance? Possible that a transporter is having one conveyance, and in this one conveyance a multiple consignment of consignor, different consignor going to different consignee. Now law provision says that such consignor or consignee being registered must have generated the eBay bill pertaining to their consignment, but transporter may generate one consolidated eBay bill, which is EWB02, giving serial number of each eBay bill generated per consignment where consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees. Now I am creating one more situation for you. Let's say there are 4 consignment. Out of 4 consignment, 3 eBay bill generated because consignment value was more than 50,000. What happened? Let's say one consignment value was less than 50,000. He has not generated the eBay bill. Then if you go to frequently asked question, it is being answered that such transporter has to generate first eBay bill 101. Even though value is less than 50,000 rupees, then he has to fill up the serial number of eBay bill, including all 3 eBay bill number for generating consolidated eBay bill number. Now question comes whether transporter, logistic, are they ready and geared up to do all this thing day in, day out? So these are the practical situation will come up to them, and this is what the provision and FAQs are saying. I'm just trying to explain that these are the possible situation which will emerge in daily operation. So this is pertaining to in one conveyance. What happened when one invoice is being generated but being transported by multiple vehicles? Let's say 5 vehicles are being used. I got only one invoice, but goods are being delivered in 5 vehicles. You must be knowing the provision in Rule 55 of CGST Rule 2017, and these are all possible situations. CGST rule says in that case one invoice is being generated. Now what happened when the 5 vehicles are taking the consignment under one single invoice? Then we have to create the delivery challan for other vehicles, duly supported by the original invoice. Reference number is being provided, and the last consignment must carry the original invoice for the consignee to avail the credit. Now in this question, my question to all of you would be that what happened in this situation? 5 vehicles are moving under single invoice. So what happened? Whether delivery challan required for each of the vehicle? Of course required first, and then the last consignment moving in the last vehicle will have invoice and consignee will get credit. But what would be the value? Need to be mentioned for creating delivery challan and an eBay bill. eBay bill would be generated per invoice wise or delivery challan wise. So in this case we have to generate 5 eBay bill, and what would be the value we have to mention? Let's say value is 1 lakh rupees under a single invoice, need to be divided by 5. I have taken 1 lakh rupees. Maybe apprehension comes to your mind, consignment value is less than 50,000 rupees. Please bear in mind, consignment value is more than 50,000 because 1 lakh rupees only being transported in 5 vehicles. So this is the answer pertaining to one single invoice being transported in 5 different vehicle possible situation. Coming to import of goods. when you are importing the goods. So what happens if you are importing the goods from China, importing the goods, and when goods reach to port, land custom station, airport and air cargo complex, and from there it reaches to your clearance area where you get your goods cleared by custom department. So once goods are being cleared, let's say at Mumbai, let's say it is cleared in Mumbai, and from Mumbai you are moving the goods either to your destination. So let's say you got your own factory in Gujarat. So you're moving goods from Mumbai to Gujarat. Whether e-way bill is required? Of course e-way bill is required. And who is causing movement of goods? You yourself, you are the consignor and consignee in this case. Because ultimately goods belonging to you and it is going to your premises in Gujarat. So you would be generating e-way bill from Mumbai location to Gujarat location. Let's take another example. That goods which are imported and after custom clearance, you want to send it directly to a job worker. Job worker, let's say in Calcutta, West Bengal. So who is supposed to generate the e-way bill? Then in that case, principal has to generate the e-way bill along with delivery challan. When goods are being moved to Kolkata, job worker. Third situation could be that you are selling the goods after custom clearance from Mumbai to someone in Haryana, Gurgaon. Then in that case, again we have to look at what is the term of contract, X works or FOR destination. If movement is caused by consignor, then e-way bill need to be generated by you being consignor, tax invoice need to be generated along with e-way bill. When it is at your disposal to cause movement of goods from Mumbai to Haryana, if it is being caused by customer, consignee, who is located in Haryana, then e-way bill need to be generated by consignee in this case. So import is being done. I created multiple options for you. Now going to the export of goods. Maybe a possible situation, you got your factory in Gujarat, and from your factory you are sending the goods to ICD or CHS. So this movement which is happening within India transaction, whether e-way bill would be required, even though it is export of goods, of course required. When you're moving from your place of business to the ICD till the time it is handed over for onward export. So e-way bill would be required if consignment value is more than 50,000 rupees. Now coming to the next important provision for e-way bill, Rule 138A. And this says a person who is in charge of conveyance must carry the following documents. What are the documents? Tax invoice when supply is being made, or bill of supply when exempted supply is being made, or delivery challan. So that is applicable for cases other than supply, plus copy of e-way bill or e-way bill number mapped on RFID, radio frequency identification device, which is embedded with the conveyance. So person in charge of conveyance must carry these documentation while movement of goods, interstate movement of goods, and intrastate as applicable for 15 states and going to be effective for all the state and union territories from June 1, 2018. Having said that, there are another option which is being provided in e-way bill, that instead of filling up part A of e-way bill 01, supplier can upload his tax invoice on common portal gst.gov.in. Upload the particulars on this common portal. Once he is uploading this tax invoice particulars on common portal, then auto population, your part A of eBay bill gets auto populated. Then you need not require to fill up the part A of eBay bill 01. Or this uploading of your tax invoice will create invoice reference number, and which can be verified by proper officer, and this invoice reference number going to be valid for 30 days, helping you that this invoice reference number will help you to fill up your GST R1 and your part A getting auto populated for eBay bill 01. This is the alternative option provided in case you are not willing to fill up part A, but you want to upload the invoice, tax invoice directly on common portal gst.gov.in. Coming to the next rule, rule 138B, and this provision says that commissioner or an officer empowered by the commissioner can authorize the proper officer to verify, document and convince. Document could be your eBay bill or eBay bill number as embedded with RFID, or convince. So proper officer can do this task only when he is being authorized by commissioner or any other officer empowered by the commissioner. Rule 138B. Now coming to rule 138C. Now what is this? Physical verification, inspection of goods by proper officer once he is being authorized by commissioner. Physical verification he can do while goods in transit. In such cases, he is supposed to prepare summary report within 24 hours in part A of eBay bill 03. These are the form prescribed. Once detention is being made for physical verification, he has to prepare the summary report, and to be prepared within 24 hours part A of eBay bill 03, and within 72 hours, within 3 days, he has to fill up the final report part B of eBay bill 03. Now I'm creating some situation for you. Like I was discussing HSN code. Now HSN code and classification, we have seen the subjectivity. Now I have come across a situation, a case in UP wherein the proper officer has detained the consignment because it was not carrying the eBay bill intrastate. Now region watch, and I'm telling you this live case, and I'm having apprehension that this should not be no repeated case once eBay bill is being introduced. The taxable person was transporting supari, which is called meaty supari, following HSN code 2106, chargeable to 18% rate, not carrying the eBay bill. And this meaty supari, which is called betel nut, made up of supari, areca nut, and this areca nut falling under HSN code 0802 with GST rate of 5%. Department alleged that this dealer must have transported the goods accompanied by eBay bill, which he was not, but tax invoice generated, 18% GST rate is being charged, but still his vehicle was detained by the proper officer. An allegation was made that a tax evasion case. So what is the tax evasion case? Saying that you are not carrying eBay bill, but try to understand what is the tax evasion in this case. I'm charging 18%. It's not the case of 5% I'm charging and not carrying the eBay bill. I'm charging 18%, and the case of tax evasion was made. And in terms of section 122 CGST Act 2017, provision says in case of non-compliances, if you are not carrying the eBay bill, then the penalty would be 10,000 or tax amount evaded, whichever is higher. So this proper officer has again levied the penalty order to the extent of 18%, which is already being charged on invoice. So I do not understand what was the tax evasion in this case first. Second, if penalty order is being passed, which I am saying is incorrect, there was no tax evasion. And why I am saying there was no tax evasion? For simple reason, when you go to UP website for generation of eBay bill, then it clearly says that generation of eBay bill is required for Supari Arakanat 0802 5% leviable. When government website is saying it is applicable only for Supari Arakanat, how come a proper officer can reach that I am engaged in tax evasion when my product is chargeable to 18% which I am charging to it? Once penalty order is being passed, next question will come whether I can avail credit of 18% penalty order. Subjective one, credit will not be available. So I am little worried when this power is being given for tax evasion, specific information of tax evasion. The proper officer must adhere to within four corners of law, and this should not be given free hand to make out a case and create the litigation unwanted. That is going to create uneasiness and will really obstacle smooth movement of goods. This would be my suggestion. Coming to Rule 138C, some other provision. Once your vehicle is being physically inspected, then subsequently further verification is not required, except when department has specific case or information of tax evasion. Well appreciated, and we would be looking for once physical verification done, subsequently should not be done in any other state. But what would be specific information? Of course need to be tested that what all information department getting, then only they can do physical verification subsequently. Coming to the last rule 138D, what it says, if your vehicle is being detained for more than 30 minutes, then transporter may upload the particulars in a specific form, eBay bill 04 EWB. So this is very good. I must applaud that government has taken care of that there would be smooth movement. If any vehicle which is being detained for more than 30 minutes for any unwanted region, then transporter can upload the details in eBay bill 04. It will be intimated to the higher up authority and a corrective measures can be taken immediately. So this is the good one from eBay bill perspective. Now I'm just opening up some of the important cases why eBay bill was introduced. As we all know that there is shortfall in GST revenue in the hands of government. Government is trying to pluck all tax evasion cases. eBay bill is important for tracking movement of goods and tax evasion cases. But the question comes, with this introduction of eBay bill, we have got many other things to align with. We have seen the GSTN since July 1, 2017, and we all are struggling to file our return because this particular GSTN website is not working. What happened? This common portal which is being notified for eBay bill, which is ebaybillgst.gov.in. Even for the trial version which I am doing, which we all are doing on trial version ebaybill.nic.in, we have come across there are many glitches even as on date. Even we were told that this NIC is going to link all HSN code as per the description of goods for auto pickup. We are not finding that HSN code are being auto connected with the description on this ebaybill.nic.in, and it must be done to avoid any kind of tax evasion dispute on the basis of classification. Having said what is the way forward we all are looking for, we as a taxpayer and tax department, and I must compliment GST Council, they are very receptive and listening our voice and making many correction. Whatever whatever problem and obstacle I have discussed, these problems and obstacles can be submitted as suggestion to the government authority for their further upgradation. I have come across one specific case that Rajasthan has introduced eBay bill from 28 December, and the concerned officers with whom I met recently, they were referring that they have not made any enforcement case since 28 December. They're handholding to the taxpayer. How they're handholding? In case we are not in a position to generate eBay bill for any region, maybe I'm not educated, maybe I'm not aware of, maybe I'm having some problem with the system, not able to generate the eBay bill, then the Rajasthan official has made the system that by email this consignor can intimate to the concerned officer with a tax invoice, and that will serve the purpose as an alternative for not generating the eBay bill. Even they have taken the steps that when eBay bill is not generated and such vehicles are being detained at particular by flying squad, then the government officials are helping, coming forward and getting the eBay bill generated for them. This is a handholding, real handholding, and this good practices must be adopted by whole nation to make it one nation, one tax in simplistic way, good and simple tax. So why I am highlighting the best part and good practices of one state to another state? In UP I given a live case of tax evasion, whereas there was no tax evasion. Why can't UP government official can adopt or Rajasthan official practice as a handholding and good practice to take trade along and make it simpler, smoother for all of us, smooth transportation of goods, no tax evasion, and we all equally responsible for the nation growth and development. Thanks for watching. In case you are having any doubt, suggestion, please do not hesitate to write back to me, and definitely we are trying, we will compile your suggestion and send it back to the concerned government official. Look forward for the solution. With this, I am summing up this particular capsule, which is on provision part on eBay bill. The next capsule could be live demo for you, wherein we are going to tell you how to generate the eBay bill, how you can take the registration, how you can generate consolidated eBay bill. So live demo would be in another capsule. Thanks for watching this capsule. Thank you very much.